Hello and welcome to another episode of Questions and Answer series. I'm your host Rizwan Khalid, and on Procurement Mentors, we're going to tackle another question that have been asked quite a few times. People who are in senior capacities already have their MSIPs both in Saudi Arabia and in Pakistan, and I've received this question here in UK as well. So Steve, if you're hearing his answer to this question, a lot of people have asked me for guidance on how to go about getting your FCIPS sorted if you've already got your MSIPs and you've worked in a procurement environment for a few years with your MSIPs. So here goes my answer. As I am a fellow member, it's been a few years since I've got my fellowship, but I believe the practice remains the same or similar as it was back then. So I'm going to try and attempt to answer this question. Although I believe SIPS would be a better place, and I have added the SIPS link on the graphic where you can find out more about fellowship and how to go about getting it. So first of all, for fellowship, if you must have a SIPS membership as a member of SIPS for 2 to 3 years minimum before the fellowship is granted to you. Number one, this is the baseline. You need to have 10 to 15 years of experience behind you, which shows your seniority in the subject matter overall before the fellowship is granted to you. You need to have a passed SIPS ethics test, pass mark in SIPS ethics test before a fellowship is granted to you. You need to have evidence of promoting supply chain for the good of society, and we'll talk about a bit more on this before a fellowship is given to you. And you need to have evidence of high performance before you are eligible for fellowship. So these are some of the things that you need to have in order to basically go for the fellowship. So fellowship application, basically similarly to the last episode, I went through the MER route. The fellowship application process is similar, it's not exactly the same. You need to have your application ready. You need to have your CV, which is your current CV, which shows the number of years of experience and the type of seniority of experience that you have gained in the past few years. You need to have your job description, which clearly shows the level of seniority that you are currently running at your workplace. You need to have your organizational chart, which shows you as part of that organization. You need to have a statement, and this basically is statement in 500 words. You need to explain what have you done so far that puts you in good stead for you to have your fellowship. Have you done anything significant to date for you to be considered for a fellowship? And then you have to also have the statement 2, which is what do you want to do moving forward, which is a good thing about promoting SIPS, about promoting supply chain as a profession, to have this fellowship. So I give you some examples. In terms of required certificates, basically because you're providing evidence, you need to provide something like your degree or your master's or your PhD or whatever degree status you hold at this moment of time, any executive educations that you've done, any SIPS ethics exams that you've given before. So you need to provide some evidence. You need to also have SIPS appreciation certificates. For example, if you have spoken on behalf of SIPS in one of the events, you usually get a SIPS appreciation certificate. You need to also have the letters of support Definitely one from fellow member, another fellow member of the SIPS or FCIPS. But the more the merrier, essentially in this case. People who hold significant positions in society and in this profession and other similar professions such as accountants, etc. We need to have letters of support, essentially stating why they believe you should become a fellow of the society. Moreover, you need to have evidence of public speaking, for example, evidence of article writing, for example. In the SIPS magazine, the Supply Management magazine, or other magazines, Harvard Business Review, or other procurement magazines. Nowadays, there are a lot of them. If you have written in any of those, you also need to give example of any transformations that you may have done and what were the results of the transformations that you may have done. Any thesis that you have written in terms of procurement or procurement and supply chain, or any theories or theses that you may have which can qualify you to be a fellow. And last but not least, have you volunteered both for SIPS and in other places where you have used the procurement and supply chain skill to better the community, to better the society, to better the people around you. For example, I used to take school governance meeting, and I used to talk about schools and schools procurement once upon a time, making it easier. In my case, I also wrote a thesis in the charitable sector when I was in charitable sector about transforming procurement in charitable sector, which you can see in the other videos that I have done. So in this journey, you need to have these kind of skills in order to make sure that if you are qualified for fellowship, and that people at SIPS basically take that application relatively seriously. So these are some of the guidelines, some of the principles. If you have any questions, please don't forget to ask the questions at thescholar'svoice101@gmail.com. And if you have any further questions for me, make sure you actually send them on that email. Once again, I'm your host, Rizwan Khalid. I hope you have learned something and enjoyed this question and answer session, and look forward to seeing you again in another episode. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.